Just that. It's the fact that I have meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting, and I'm caught in the same limbo. Yes, you 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 know what I'm noticing? She opens portals. That's what she does. She's like a transistor. Yep. She opens portals. Yep. So I'm in her chamber. You know, in the Spider-Man universe, when he runs into the madam, I forgot. She has the glasses. And she has the Spider-Man thing. Madam, yo, exactly, Madam Web. That's exactly what I'm thinking about. Yes, Madam Web. That's exactly what she does. Because it's all about disrupting growth. So it's unbelievable. So this is a puzzle, and we just figured out Blue's Clues.
So that would be the hard one. So
I am amazed that I didn't realize that. Now, if that place is ever mentioned, she's always going to attach it with her ability to manipulate the situation. Okay. From a psychological standpoint, do you know that this is the actual, like the actual damage? How can I explain it? This is how she's able to maintain and sustain this system.
Then you're in LPGA. Well, you're south of LPGA. So the Automall Road stops at LPGA. The north side of it.
So I'll give you an example. What happens in the future if you ever need that resource? You know what she's going to do? She's going to find anything to attach this moment, which is basically her inability to accept that God has shown her something against her will and against whatever she perceived. Because God did that on purpose. Everything fell through because of her not inconsistency, but her malice. Like deep down inside, there's just this evil force, man. It's just evil. It's just pure evil. And it's maleficent. It's like it is premeditated. That's what makes it work. She opens portals. I'm telling you, that's all she's doing. Think about you know the bad guy, the Spot from the Spider-Man animated series. That he can open a portal and you can fall through it. Like it could be on the floor, it could be in the middle, it could be in anywhere. He could just open these portals everywhere. That's what it is. So I'll give you an example. This situation happened, so now to justify and ignore the fact that God just taught her a lesson, right? She's going to blame it on the business and the investment, right? So in the future, we come across that resource and we need that investment, right? What's she going to do? She's going to bring this moment up. Oh, because this, that, and the third. And it's all to not accept the fact that God just showed you that what you did was wrong. So not only was what she did wrong, but God showed it to her. Because what happened? The people continued to do what they were going to do. And if she would have opened her heart for that moment, we would be in a different universe right now. Because I wouldn't have gone through the pain and the suffering that I had to go through. Do you know what's from last week to this week, nothing has changed. I still have not been able to do what I was trying to do. And you know what's the most important thing? What's the most important thing that I was trying to do above everything? Pray. Pray. So you're keeping me from doing something that you know is of a different realm. So you're playing with different fields of energy and life. You get what I'm saying? You're not hurting me. You're just leaving this legacy of torment, abuse, neglect. You know? Now, just being at a disadvantage. I live in a small railroad town. I'm at the last stop. I'm actually far from the last stop. So even just getting to the train is an issue. Then taking the train, then connecting to the metro complex system of transportation just to get across town. And this person not acknowledging, like, yo, damn, I literally made a phone call now and I said, look, I'm 6 hours away. That's a whole flight. That's like going from here to New York and then to Dominican Republic, back to back. People don't understand. I'm in the sky the whole time. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. No, the most important thing, when is the meeting with the investment fund? Day, 1 o'clock. So everything has to be a tornado, hurricane, thunderstorm, tropical storms, all at one time.
I don't know.
One large road, another large road. And you're not allowed to make a left. You're getting the left lane.
So now that just adds a whole nother layer of this vortex. No, and there's nothing else that I could potentially do at this moment other than to pray. Because if I'm being attacked on the spiritual realm, I can only put up that fight on the spiritual realm. And what I need to do, I need to pray to God and say, God, look what's being done. And there's nothing that I can do. She's literally rendering me powerless. And I cannot how can I say this? I cannot concern people that worry about my well-being because everybody wants things to be perfect and fluid and you know what I'm saying, harmonious. Over and over again, because I'm explaining something that's so clear as daylight, and yet here we go again. You know what's the most important thing that I need, right? That's the most important thing, right? That's the number one thing that's being taken away from me, and people don't understand. And let me tell you, a lot of people feel suppressed from a religious standpoint, so they face situations like that. And I never thought I would meet people like that. Like, yo, are you serious? Yeah. Now that's, to me, that's pure evil. Just think about it. Just think about it. Not only do people at times they want your happiness, everything else people can get, right? But yo, for somebody to want your pain, that's different. For somebody not to want you to pray, Yo, where do they do that? Yo? What world is that? What universe is that?
Well, have you been reading about that conflict, right, not having all
And when you try to explain that to people, most people don't understand that spiritual realm. They don't get it.
I don't think of myself that.
But do you see how it's the same source of paradoxes, vortex, you know, just deviating the path of success
But now I eat everything normal.
constantly?
Something doesn't agree with me.
What is the number one constant in everything? Madam Web and the spot.
that you buy rebounds or
Yo, I unplugged from the matrix. Right? The matrix is like, why are you unplugging? The people in between, the characters in between, is like, you know, it's a shame, you know, that the love is coming from, you know, a collective of people where it shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Like the people doing the abuse and the damage, they don't recognize that. They don't acknowledge what they're doing.
They're watching.
Yo, this person's fear is success. Not only for themselves, but for me.
Be going out on a Wednesday.
Hey, thank you. And you know what? It took me so much. It took me years to realize that.
I don't know. I didn't even know anything about it. And I don't know anything about my migraine.
okay, that's good.
I know.
You're done.
There's
Did
no
I
way
guess with the-
that
did
I could
have
try
the
to
last
fight
one?
that system unless I put
I
myself
have to look at
in a
my.
horrible predicament. And that's how the abuse takes place, because
You know,
that's
I
part
just
of the
Yeah, yeah,
abuse.
I was thinking about that. Not the
The
other
struggle.
day, but
The abuse is what gives them the like the highlight reel.
But see, when
If
I
you want
went
to think
for,
about it that way, that's what gives them their kicks.
my
Like,
new
you know what I'm saying?
insurance was already in there. It's Walmart insurance. So it's already been in there for them.
Yes.
But what about the
I even said yesterday,
Nobody said
if
anything.
everything
I
was
haven't gone-
perfect
I haven't gone
and there was
to
nothing to
Texas.
complain about, what are you going to complain about?
I haven't.
We're going to complain about the fact that there's nothing to complain about.
Donna went and Jennifer went. I'm not due for my
Look at this.
stuff,
Look at this example
but I think I
with,
might
with
go
that
back.
resource, right? Or you could say that investment.
I
You
know
just tainted something
this,
that
but
has been essential
you know,
for
I
me
never
for the
figured
last
the
6
losers
years.
were a problem for me.
Something that has helped us in ways I can't even describe. Like I have a family history with this investment.
Right. So what about my last blood test or whatever said showed elevated? You know, so when I look up what those numbers meant,
Mhm.
that was
Exactly.
a little surprising.
Exactly.
no,
So
In the beginning,
for the
he
first
did.
time, I've been
But in
able
the
to
beginning,
peel back the
when they
layers
first
of the
found out,
abuse and the challenges and the let's just make shit more complicated than what it
and I
needs to be.
remember that.
yeah,
But not
Because
anymore.
that's the abuse,
So
complexity.
if this bread is
Taking something simple and making it so complex that
mitochondria,
the person that's a victim to it, including myself, you're out here scrambling the world and people don't understand. Yo, why are you in this situation? I'm like, you have no idea
I'm
why
trying
it's
to
been
do
done
this.
to me.
I'm
Layer by layer by layer by layer, person by person, betrayal after betrayal, heartache, hardship, losing everything, having to rebuild from zero over and over again. I am zero.
so what's in it, what makes it up? You know,
Well, it was designed for
Yo,
your body's response to shock. Like
every one of these situations has cost me no less than $5 million.
The way Austin explained it to me,
How do you live with that?
approach
Being around
that was
a
more natural.
collective of
Body
people that just
knows
destroyed
its
everything I
response.
built my entire life.
There's too many things in the way.
And I'm still building.
Now your body's realizing what it's supposed to be doing. I think that's I don't know. That was just the way he explained it.
Okay.
I don't know.
How
There's one
how
doctor-
can I forget that when I get to the land of milk and
That
honey?
other stuff is junk. It's not. It's all artificial. It's not superficial. Whatever. He said, there's been studies that show this. You know, and he makes you know, everybody makes sense. He's a doctor.
That's why all dogs go to heaven.
But
You
if I'm
can't
gonna
mess
help
with
my
God's
brain-
people, yo. Period.
I'm not improving myself.
Yeah.
Obviously. Why would I eat what I eat?
Okay, but if you were,
So
What are the health issues?
all I could do is like
Find out.
commune with God and say, yo,
More than
what can I do? Just give me a
So
sign,
then
give
it would
me
be
a,
like, okay, then I would have
a strategy. And even if you don't want to, as a human being, you become vulnerable because you're praying and you're hoping that this change will come, and it's just never there.
Green grapes.
If you could hear the hatred when I speak to these people, the hatred that comes is like anger, but they don't want to confront you on that level. They rather for you to suffer mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and even physically.
I don't know. And then he says certain vegetables are crap. Don't eat.
So they went to the
No.
this is the part where they're shooting the ants.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So one of them got
Only God
So-
truly knows
and then, you know,
how
he's
hard
like,
this is for you.
This is junk.
Me of all people.
But he's talking about fruits and vegetables.
yeah, right.
So I don't think I have. No, it's a
Well, it has to be something realistic. It can't be something out.
I'm not afraid
like
to
when you make a cereal.
That's something.
share it and show it to the world because sometimes you have to do that. Those people are going to have a lot of questions to answer in the future. Because the public is going to want to know, yo, why would you do that to somebody that you love? Why would you do that to somebody that you care for? Why would you do that? Why would you hurt somebody
Way
like
more
that?
expensive. You get 6 slices.
Why would you continue the abuse? Why wouldn't you try to make things, develop for the best? In other words, who wakes up and just, I want to make everything chaotic? Who does that? It's a choice made by that collective of people that have that mentality.
Maybe I should just go to the gym. Every single day. 5 days. Not knowing it.
So
And totally transform myself.
I wish I could draw a graphic showing like
I could be
all the different portals being open, all the lines of confusion. It's just again, one of the strategies is overcomplicating.
50 years of my life. I look like this. You know what Ian said to me yesterday? He's like, we were the same age as my mom.
Could you imagine if for one moment all that energy was used towards something positive? Can you imagine what would happen?
And he says, my mom looks the most like 50 than
This person has the opportunity to be just as equally positive.
You know,
You know why she has this power? Because I gave it to her. I trusted her with everything. God forbid if anything happens to me. Here you go. Imagine in a few months. It's so like it's so hard to deal with that because it's only gonna get worse. I already know it's only gonna get worse.
So you can't pick up a gallon of milk without killing yourself.
you're not lifting. I mean, you're doing more than other people without actually having.
What am I supposed to do here?
You
I know what God wants me to do.
Because you're doing
I know
well, you're
what I
doing
probably
well.
should do,
If you go to the gym, it's going out.
but how can I
Some people get
forgive when I'm in the healing process?
Now, if I didn't lose weight, if I
How
didn't
can I
exercise
forget when
that you
the
like
abuse has never stopped?
as much as
This
you
abuse
would
is not
like
from
it
now.
45
This
days.
abuse is my whole life. It's just I was numb to it. I would compartmentalize it, block it out, say, nah, you know, they didn't mean that, or it wasn't like that. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. But no, it's like year after year after year after year after year. Well, situation after situation after situation. And remember the fear of once success is achieved,
But when
they
I
have
like
zero
in the
access to
morning,
me
1 minute break,
ever again. You know what's I've done it before to them. That's why I tell myself like this is surprising to them. Like they know that if they have to go through 24 people to speak to me, it's gonna be like 600 people.
So now during my 1 minute break, I think
So the incremental is gonna be quantum because I feel in my heart that no human being
40
deserves
seconds.
to be in that situation. Like it is pure evil. Don't you dare even try to be successful. Whatever you try to do, we are going to pour acid all over it. And that's the pattern. That's the pattern of abuse. Put me out there to the elements, you expose me. That's the physical abuse. Emotional is when I'm seeking the support. The psychological manipulation is the verbal abuse. You know, yo, you can't do this. This is impossible. You can't do it. This and that. So you see, again, creating the problem, benefiting from the solution. And it all starts with that understanding that in my circumstances, I'm at a handicap, and I'm literally handicapped as well. So I'm handicapped physically, and I'm handicapped due to the circumstances of the system. You see somebody drowning, and you know this person's trying to swim, and for a group of people to say, "I don't understand. I didn't know there were sharks in the ocean." You understand what I'm saying? Human beings can't sleep in water, so it's only a matter of time, right, before you're floating in the ocean and sharks start to swarm around. They're in their habitat, they're in their environment. What are you going to do?
I did it when I went to the water.
Then people are surprised. Oh, wow, you know, there's sharks surrounding the water.
That thing. I was on that.
You know, this person must be concerned and worried.
Put my phone
Yeah.
there.
You take any person and you put them in a similar situation, you're going to get the same result. Now, remember, once I'm back in that position of privilege and power, I'm never going to forget this. So the shield that I'm going to build is going to be like the golden dome. Those people are just never going to be a part of my life. And it's not about what society may perceive. I believe in my heart is what God knows. That's the most important. So life is going to continue to happen. And remember, today it doesn't matter. I'm nothing. I'm worse than a piece of trash in the trash bin, right? But what about tomorrow? Now I understand why so many people, when they overcome, boom, they reach success, right? The number one thing that they want is distance from all of the people that could have destroyed the dreams. The people that actually killed the dream, the entire process. Why should I feel bad and say, yo, let me help these people after 44 years of pain, struggle, and suffering, and neglect, and abuse, and torment, and everything that comes with it.
I want to.
And it tears my heart from the inside out because I want to do everything for everybody. My happiness isn't their happiness, or at least that was my perspective. Now I have to go to the dark side. And what does that mean? Going to the dark side means disconnecting from them completely. Not saying something good, not saying something bad, just not saying anything at all. Just not being involved, just not being in the situation. just not even trying. You know, I told this person, you know, we'll
Yeah,
fly over here, we'll do it
this,
this way. No,
this.
it's
So
too
she
much
gets
complication.
her
What
shit
about this?
right?
No,
Everything
too much
works.
complication. What about this? What about that? So opportunities over and over and over and over and over again. And the hatred just
Well, I'm not gonna eat all of
spews
it.
out of their pores. They can't hold it. I did not know for my entire lifetime I was essentially the embodiment of all of their fears coming together all at once. It's like he could write, he could sing, he could dance, he could dress, he could do this, he could do that. He has it all. He's the total package. He's the real deal total package. He's the real diamond in the rough. You remember the conundrum in Aladdin, right? Um where Jafar is talking to the whatever the little thing that he has to try to get Aladdin to go into the cave, and you know the tiger tells Jafar like, "Yo, you need to find the diamond in the rough. I am the diamond, and no matter what position you put me in, I'm gonna shine. It doesn't matter what angle, what the cut or the polish is, diamond's always gonna shine." How can I live with this? I'm carrying this in my heart. I'm going into this business meeting, and look what I have to deal with before the meeting. This meeting could change my whole life. Could change in 2 hours, and that's just one meeting. That's just one investment. And look what I have to deal with. Now, let me ask you a question. Was it God that created the opportunity? Absolutely. Was it God that put the challenges in between? Absolutely not. Who put the challenges in between? Emotionally, physically, psychologically, financially. Abuse is abuse. Neglect is neglect. What a surprise. What happens tomorrow if I book another 24 meetings? And the day after that, another 24 meetings? What's the common denominator? Same situation over and over and over and over and over again. One of the worst things when you've been in an abusive situation is when the other parties involved refuse to acknowledge, like, you know, well, you walked into my baseball bat. You walked into my guillotine. It was there, unused. You walked into my guillotine. You know, oh, you made a mistake. What happened? Oh, I was born. Sorry, I was born. Sorry, God was like, let me open the universe and allow this amazing person to come in.
But the pill doesn't know that.
So I remember now the years of yo, I'm gonna do this. Yo, I'm gonna try to do that. Oh no, that's impossible. That's not for you. Success, nah, it's not designed for you. How do you deal with that? I just opened my Bible. That's my cheat code. You know what I'm saying? That's how I deal with it. Meanwhile, opportunities and potential over and over and over.
You see the batteries in the street.
I don't know. It was weird after that.
Yeah, exactly.
Guess what, Bonnie? I don't want to take the meeting. I don't want to take the meeting. What makes you think I want to take the meeting? I don't have the spiritual energy to take that meeting. You think I'm going to be able to negotiate at my best under distress? Distress that was put into the universe right before the meeting? Why would I want to have this meeting right now? Do you think emotionally I'm intact? No, I'm shattered. A million pieces.
Not absence.
Shattered by who? The people that I've wanted to help. I don't want to help them anymore.
Asians.
So I worked my ass off my whole life. I sacrificed for everybody that I love. Why should I be
It's the cheapest
in my
item.
state feeling bad? I have a beautiful pool. I have this. I have that. All the things that people could want. For years, I punished myself. I didn't allow myself to be fully happy because I was always, yo, I need to build more. No, I need more. It's not enough. You know, my mentality was, if I'm a multimillionaire, my family is still struggling, I'm a piece of shit. My success is invalid.
Wow, I heard that a time.
Meanwhile, everybody was playing for themselves. So, what is the difference now? If I just say, yo, I need a bigger gate. 24 feet is not high enough. Okay, I'm going to put 30-foot gates around the house.
Where are all the cows? What cows are you using?
And God knows in my heart that I never wanted it to be like that. But this time around, no matter what it takes, I'm not going to let any of those things affect me ever again.
We go to Iowa to work for that guy.
I've worked so hard for everything that I'm negotiating right now. This is my whole life. This is everything. This is everything. This is my whole 44 years of existence in one negotiation.
We have course. It's still parts of that, regardless.
Well, that's why I think I want parts of one species, not multi-species.
Exactly.
It's gonna come. It's
Chicken
gonna
wings.
come
To
from the
know
same
that those
one.
people could attain
We're all one
whatever
color.
and be like out for themselves only, basically, and live comfortably, sleep at night like nothing, everything just, that is a level of evil I will never know and understand. I understand glimpses of it, but yo, this is next level right here. And now I see why it cuts so deep. I see why it's so painful.
I mean, he is.
Because maybe
But
if it came from a different source, maybe the
that's
reaction would
exactly
be
what
different.
they said.
But this is
So,
as close as you could potentially get. That it's almost unfair that anybody has to go through that. So what's the best strategy? Okay, we'll create distance. But my distance is not I'm gonna move across the street. My distance is I'm gonna be on the other side of the world. Don't even waste your time. Don't call me, don't write, don't nothing. You can see me on TV every single day for the rest of your life. And you are. And don't even waste your time. And it's not that I'm gonna be abusive over the phone or whatever. It's more like I'm just not gonna factor it in to my existence. And I'm not just talking about today, this week, this month, this year. I'm talking about indefinitely. You see, these people don't understand the concept of time. They only think about the moment, right? So when you say indefinitely, that means 5 years from now, you're gonna start to reflect. 10 years from now, you're gonna know the truth. 20, 35 years from now, you're gonna regret every single day that you think. Then, as a force multiplier, all my churches and all my charities, everything that I'm working on all over the world that people don't know about, I'm gonna do it even more. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life focused on that and giving my love and my energy to those people that care about it, that appreciate it, that are gonna do the right thing. There's not gonna be a relative saying, "You bought me a McLaren, but it's a 2017." If I give it to the church says, "Thank you. We'll auction it off. We'll help the kids. We'll do this. We'll do that." My family members will be like, "Yeah, but it's a 2017. Why is it not a 2027?" Well, why the fuck do I have to give you a McLaren then? Why don't I just give you a gift card to Best Buy, $50, go buy something? Why don't I just give you a $25 gift card to go to the Olive Garden? Why do I need to buy you a car? Why do I need to buy you a house? Why do I need to open a business for you? Why do I need to set up a retirement for you? Why do I need to pay your debt? Why do I need to take you on vacation? Why do I need to take you on tour? Why everything that comes from your heart is negative and abusive and painful and hurtful? And I have to be a good sport about it. The entire universe could change in 2 hours. I'm not even concerned because I feel emotionally drained. I don't want to take the meeting.
60, 78.
So when
If I had to have one focal point and say, what's the reason I don't want to take this meeting? It's because of that. And that group of people and that one person. Because I never deserved this. And I'm appreciative. It's been a hell of a catalyst and drive and motivation. I love it.
he got a job where he's like, why don't you go tomorrow night? And you can come over and see me at work. So, he is this whole thing. So, Jim's, so they came over. They came over the other night. Really like your son's with you. Do you think that she could do that? Well, I don't know. I guess she's really sweet and nice. And well, it turns out that night she texted me because he went over to her house that night. And they came over there. Apparently she could go over. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. Weren't we just talking about that? You know, I said, did you text her? She goes, of course I did.
Wow.
She's really cute.
Yeah.
I mean, she comes up on my people you may know. I don't know. Matthew is.
What's your assessment?
Probably not.
Oh my God. Wow. Look at that for me.
He came in. The two of them came in for Valentine's Day, I think it was, because they were
How many opportunities like this are destroyed
yeah, come back.
just because
He stationed
you have to be at your best when you're under these stressful negotiations? And anything that damages your armor, any damage that's taken in from within the armor, is a huge problem because it affects everything. This is not just a Trojan horse. This is a fucking Trojan Empire. You know what I'm saying?
And I said, is that a thing? And he said, yeah. He said, I think they were trying to look for an excuse for this.
Now, as much as you may try to avoid it, just acknowledging that this is what's happening. This is what's happening over and over and over again.
So,
How could you not want to have quantum solace? How could you not want to have peace of mind? Then, force multiplier. I'm going to create content around this. I'm going to write books about this as I have.
Because I wouldn't choose it now.
And I'm going to be advising people in similar situations because I have yet to see a situation as intricate and as delicate and as hurtful as mine. Because it comes down to trying to destroy my spirit, break my heart, break my soul, and try to shatter my spirit. Why? Why? You know, like Tony Robbins in the book, right? The 5 whys. Why? What are you getting out of it? My success is not their failure, and my failure is not their success. Those two things do not correlate. Publishing 45 books has not been enough for these people. You know how hard it is to write one book?
I know they were looking at but I didn't get to talk to him after.
I did it 45 times and I'm still writing. I probably wrote another 100 books after that. I have books I haven't published yet. And I'm still writing. I write every day. I'm still writing. I'm still designing. I'm still engineering. Every single day.
I saw Jennifer.
Every day.
We get so mad.
Good times, bad times. Good days, bad days. Rainy days, sunny days. Snowy days,
So
for
me
me
and her bitch
days.
about the same thing. She goes, I was behind this
Nonstop.
Dodge this morning. It was all lifted and everything. And, you
And all I want is
oh,
peace
I'm
of mind.
cursing and everything.
All I want is
So
my
I saw
life
her. I
back.
was behind her one morning.
If God gave me everything back how I used to have it,
Following her. And
I didn't
she
realize
goes,
how
she doesn't break.
successful I
She goes
was,
right over
and
the
so
speed limit.
young.
So do
Look,
I.
look at the. I was
She gets
that
to stop
young.
sign. Obviously, there's nobody around.
I was doing what I'm doing now, yo, mad young, and I didn't realize
Yeah.
the advances that it was at the time.
So I go through her too.
No, oh, that one. That's the main aisle coming in? Not the main.
Not that big. The other credit union by the garden center
Yeah,
side where I parked.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was told you about that other stop sign.
Oh no,
They never stop at that.
no. Coming in, you don't stop.
Oh, no.
But every other direction, you're sitting there for days. So I will never go that way. In the morning, if I miss that light, I'll go straight through the light and I'll turn it northeast,
All right.
and then I'll go back that way through that stop sign. But there's never anybody. There's not a lot of people around it.
Right,
So I'll stop, and you don't have to wait long to go.
right, yeah.
The one
So
over by the credit union in the mornings.
No. Okay, now you have
No, not at 7. So we just go.
yeah, just putting everything into perspective.
You have to switch off. Down
yeah.
I think probably a general reflection.
Where were the ones that I took away to put them there?
Forgiving them is number one. I already feel bad for how how they're gonna suffer, and not because of me, not because I will ever think of anything negative, but just because
No, like
you're going to see how people appreciate this diamond in the rough, right? And they know that they'll never be a part of that. They'll never be able to say like, "Yo, we always believed, we always trusted, we always this, we always that." They're never going to be able to say that because they're never going to be allowed in that proximity. And it hurts because I'm already thinking like the youth in the family. By the time they grow up, they're going to remember
is that a well
this
known?
hidden character in the background that everybody stepped on. Now all of a sudden,
People know that secretary's
they're seeing this person on TV, he's on the internet, he's on print, he's on this. And the tabloids, the narratives, these people are going to go everywhere that they cut them a check to damage the brand, the character, everything. I already see it. Yep. These are going to be the people. So you see how like in every superstar athlete or celebrity, you see how there's always a family member or
I
a
was
group
gonna
of
say, does
family
she have any?
that are going to say,
Yeah, but I don't know where
he
it
doesn't
is.
like broccoli. you know, he doesn't like this.
Because remember,
That's all part of it. But at least that part, I'm already mentally prepared for.
and I thought everybody knew that.
Yeah, they're gonna run a campaign
Like
to
say
the
when you
world
pull your
like, yo,
door out.
you know, this is damaged goods. This is not,
Left it on the inside.
and that's all part of it. All this has been is like a preparation. It's been a
Yeah, wouldn't
training.
that be a real thing?
You know, I'm physically drained. I really need to get some sleep. I need to get some rest, and I feel the difference. I feel like, damn, I need rest. But given the circumstances, it's like before I can even rest and have peace of mind, I need to address these people and address these things. You know? This is why it's important.
I'm so angry.
Well, I mean, not necessarily the way, just the acknowledging it in order to be able to look for uh, a better path or a better solution. You know, these are the moments where it's just like you're just contemplating the whole universe, just contemplating the whole world, just trying to make sense of everything. You know, sadly, you just can't because if you had to put it under a category, it's abuse, it's manipulation,
That they still have
it's
some.
neglect. It's like hurting somebody and then not acknowledging that you hurt that person, and not even acknowledging if it's a person that you hurt in the first place. So, you know, I have to stay praying. That's it. Now, now let's bring it all back. Why is it so important for me to go pray? Before these listen, before these negotiations and during this moment. So you see how it all comes back to we are not gonna let this person even pray. We are not going to let this person pray.
So I can watch it raw. Tomatoes
But
there.
but do you see the manipulation and the control
Put it in
of
your back.
we're not even gonna let you praise God. We're not gonna give you a chance to pray. Now how you want to pray. Now how you need to pray. Not based on what you believe and what's important to you. And that crushes me. That does crush me. Because they know from being around me, all my houses have a church. All my houses have a church. I don't just have a recording studio and all these other things. Like I got a movie theater in my house, stuff like that. No, I have a church in my house. Who would know that?
She rolls the
All of them.
She goes through all her fingers and
So you're disconnecting me from
I
the
read
source.
every single one. And she
I'm
was
not
telling me-
surprised that all these things are happening because I'm not able to make that connection. So you see how deep this is? Who can be manipulating or enticing these people to be so evil? It's not God, I'll tell you that much. Whatever it is, it's not God. Does that make perfect sense? Now you see what's important. What's the first thing I told you? I said, yo, above and beyond, the first thing I need to do is pray. That's what I need to do. Anybody else would have said, yo, I want my Lamborghini, I want my fucking estate, I want my pool, I want my backyard, I want my doves, I have birds, I want my fucking uh, desert eagle and shit. You get what I'm trying to say? No. You know what I'm saying? I want to pray.
They say a lot of the
So, exactly. So, what do? You attack that. But you disguise it in all these other things. You bring the situation here and there is because of this, because of that. But in the end, it's the two taboos. We can't talk about my music because that's too taboo. They can't handle that. They don't understand I have a 10,000 song catalog that I'm negotiating every single day for the rest of our lives, right?
Yeah, mine was
But no, we can't talk about that. And then you praying and praising God as a Jewish man of faith, oh no, we can't have that. We don't speak that language. We're never gonna let that happen. They're like, how did he figure it out? Oh, he fucking flew all over the world and connected with everything and realized, oh,
distracted.
I had to go see the world to realize this is the path, and that was the path.
David said
You know what's even worse?
he said something.
There were better ways that I could have done that, and they didn't even share that with me until they could use it as an attack. when obviously I didn't need it anymore because I had gotten my passport.
You see? I'm sure.
So all this time that they hurt me and abused me and blocked me from all this other, all these other millions of dollars across the pond, I had no idea that I had the opportunity to capitalize on those markets. How much money I lost in that, I don't know. It has to be a few $100 million minimum.
Okay, so yesterday
This is all the same
I
people.
had someone call me praying to God
This is all the same group
from
of people
California.
that I broke the World Guinness record, praying to God to please give me my dream so that I can share it with my loved ones.
Oh,
I broke
So
the
he said,
World's
asking me to
Guinness
verify this.
record talking about
He
God
said, I
in my
knew it was a
music.
trap, but it did sound very convincing.
I hold that record.
He said, is there a way to
Eternity.
use my
It's going to
bank
be very hard to break my record.
account? Is there a setting I can turn on and off? So I said, on your Wells Fargo app, you can freeze your debit card and that's linked to the account. And he said, that just freezes
Yeah,
my
you
card.
know what's even more
So
powerful?
tonight,
Carrying the fact that now that I know
there should be a way
that
to
all
freeze
those
my
people
account.
and all that great intention that I had
So I looked
was
it up
for a
online.
collective of
He
people
said, you
that
can freeze your
never
debit card on the app,
cared
put the
about.
800 number on the back of your card and speak to the card. You can review transactions in your app and make sure that they make sense to you. And then I said, all the 800
For all eternity,
if you suspect
as
fraud,
far as
you're not sure.
wherever there's internet, technology, computers, and
He
sound,
said, Austin and Matt.
you're gonna hear my music.
So I said,
Generations are gonna pass, thousands and thousands, millions, billions, trillions of years, right? So God comes back, right?
Because yes, I'm talking to Austin now. He said,
Everybody's gonna know
he did take a
what they did to this person. The whole world's gonna look back and say, "Wow, this is how you wrote yourself in history." In the story, these people are gonna be all the bad guys. They're gonna be the like all the evil characters.
yeah.
And he said, we all stick together.
Disney has a beautiful universe, right? Disney has a huge universe, but it has its universe of just the dark characters.
He said,
That's who they are. That's who they are. Yep. That's who they are.
So if what he
That's
said
who
on
they
the
are.
news, he said that we can
And
improve.
sadly, from a social political standpoint, those are the people that say, "Yo, I always believed in you. I always knew you could do it.
Because David actually gave him
I always knew it could happen. I always knew this. I always knew that." Right?
conversation with him and Matt. So Matt says, oh, he's on C-130s, and David said yes. And he said, yes. And he was passing me.
So what am I supposed to do with that?
He said, oh, no,
Mr. Clarence, God bless.
He said, big bet. Say hi to him.
How do you live with that, right? Like, how do you
He goes,
administrate that on a day-to-day basis? When remember, I'm in the happiness business. My clients come to me and they need happiness, and they need a uplifting, and they need this and they need that.
I just couldn't believe it.
I think
That's like finding a needle in a
the
haystack.
way that we were able to dissect it is
David
priceless.
can orchestrate this shit from
I know,
hundreds of
right?
thousands of miles away.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. So where's the shooter? Where is he? I mean,
So,
here in the States. Where's he stationed? Okay.
No, actually.
It's just one of those things, like
Wasn't he over in Japan?
I'm gonna continue to pray. That's the only way I could deal with this.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna take that meeting today. I don't feel like that I'm at my best,
Yeah, there was.
So
No. And I told him,
Yeah.
901, 196.
so this is the epiphany, this is like the, how can I put it? And all I can do is just keep praying. That's it. Like I said, I'm gonna postpone today's meetings, and then
so I brought in
I'll decide what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I'm gonna give myself some time to just pray. I need to pray.
I still haven't brought in.
Definitely need to pray.
So in the morning, she doesn't come in. I give her half a lot. Well, I got the joint shoes in the mail yesterday, so now I can give her the joint shoes. So she eats those very reluctantly.
Now,
And she gets a
how do we
and I
proceed from
shake the
here?
cats. She's like, she comes running. She'll never on the placemat. She waits for me to put two little cats in. So everybody gets their treats.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And they'll get it at night. So last night I let
Well, these are the parts that Hollywood doesn't show you. When you do the movie of your life, you know what I'm saying? This is the part where people don't understand.
But I'm not moving.
Now, I'm just happy I can speak about it because, you know, there's going to be people that want to know, like, what the heck happened, you know, what has been happening. And all I can say is, yo, this is the truth. This is how everything happened. And, you know, I forgive everybody. That's it. I'm not going to harbor any negativity in my heart. That's going to hurt me. But I'm also not going to neglect what I feel. You know what I'm saying? The situation is, I never thought in my life I would be going through something like this. And I have a beautiful heart. I have a very loving heart. You know, and again, that's what makes it hurt even more. The fact that it's like, you know, I put my entire everything in this people's hands.
So
Yeah.
she's forced to stay out in nature.
That really, you know,
But yeah, she'll come over to me and just
that's really who I am. That's all I ever wanted. I just wanted everybody to be happy. I just wanted everybody to have their dreams. I mean, I know they probably weren't willing to work as hard on their dreams as I would. I forgive them. I just want my distance. Like, you've done enough. I don't need an apology. You know what I'm saying? It's just, we're just moving on. You know, things have changed, life has changed, and I'm just moving forward. Even if I have to do it by myself. Because also, remember the neglect. You know how many people depend on me. So if you do any type of harm to me, you're not just hurting me. You're hurting like churches and charities and people from the church. You're hurting God's people. You know, there's so many people that depend on me. So they may think like, you know, oh, we're just doing the damage to this person. Nah, man. And that's it. If anything, I can control myself and say, you know what, I'm not going to do anything until further notice. Just because nothing has, you know, has been fruitful. Right? So just keep it simple and keep it moving. I just, you know, like, I don't have any energy to fight. I don't have any energy to argue. I don't care about being right about it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't care to engage into this dance that they have laid out for me. You know what I mean? I just, listen, man, I forgive everybody. God bless everybody. I just want my space. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on my things, and that's it.
So I'm curious.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. Just focus on my things and just keep praying no matter what. Just keep praying. Keep going. Just keep going. I had an excellent day yesterday. Today's going to be an excellent day. That's it.
There's more articles and photos. I'm just giving you the photos.
Nothing else.
And you'll see all the leaders of America. And it goes back all the way to the early 1900s. They've been meeting. They worship God. And they go, well, you want to know what they do? I don't know exactly what they do. One thing they do is all structured between.
It's an amazing thing.
Like that have
Every day I do everything that I can to prepare myself, you know what I'm saying, for that opportunity. Whenever God feels like it's the right time. In a way, I can kind of understand why God delayed it, because maybe God was preventing a tragedy, you know what I'm saying? And nothing is guaranteed, but I know that I'm going to keep my distance. And I keep saying that because I know how hurtful that can be. You know, I know how painful that can be. You want to connect and you can't. You just cannot. And I don't have to feel bad about it. I know that I didn't cause it, I
I will
didn't
buy
create
you
it.
coffee forever.
You know, I didn't know life was a fucking competition. I didn't know it was like, well, my house is bigger than yours. Well, my house has more room. Well, I have a pool and you don't. Well, I have a helicopter pad and you don't. Like, you know what I'm saying?
One tiny.
I didn't know we were competing. I thought I was competing with the open market. I thought I was competing with the world. You know what I'm saying?
The sheriff is a Freemason.
I didn't. I didn't think it was gonna be,
They're all
something else. So
Like this,
now I know. Because and that's the thing too. You have to be careful with money because you could do evil shit, right? Like I could just compete with them and build my whole life around competing with them, but I would never do that because I know better than that. There's no light at the end of that tunnel. There's nothing good about that. I'm not gonna gain anything from humiliating them. I'll give you an example. Give you an example. They have a house in the estate, right? They have a house in the estate. Their houses are like a few streets up once you go into the complex, right? All I would have to do is buy every house at the gate so that when you drive in, you have to see my house. You can't drive around in because once you got to go to security, right? Once you go through every gate to get to the complex, what happens if I just buy the houses right there by the gate? You're gonna see me every day. You're gonna see me when I water my grass. You're gonna see me when I'm cleaning my pool or when I'm swimming. You're gonna hear my music when I'm playing it blast. You're gonna see my collection of cars. Okay, they gotta wake up in the morning to go to work. They go to work at 7 o'clock in the morning. Guess who's up warming up the Lamborghini at 6:15? That's gonna be me. And I'm gonna make it a point to where when they come out of the gate, I'm just gonna be right in front of them, and I'm gonna let them pass me so I could be next to them, so they could try to wave at me, and I could throw up the peace sign and show them what 12 cylinder does. What am I gonna gain from that? What am I gonna gain from that? They go get a new car, I go get a new car. They go on vacation, I check their social media. Oh, you went to Davos? Guess who's flying to Davos today? How long is your vacation? 3 weeks? Well, we're going to be here for 3 months. So I'll show up to the resort 2 days before they have to leave. And I'll wave at them. Bye. And I'll do it every year. And I'll do it every month. Every family gathering, Christmas, let's say New Year's, Thanksgiving, guess who's going to show up? Like the Green Ranger, which I am the Green Ranger in real life. I'm not going to build a life of that conundrum to compete with them. It doesn't make a difference to me. And on top of that, it's against my religion to do that. Now, if they had the opportunity to do that, do you think they would not do that? 100% they would do that. Even if they knew or if they thought, they anticipated that it would hurt my feelings. Life is not a bank account. Life is not what you have in your storage. Life is not materialistic nonsense. There's real people on planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? Real human beings with real feelings and emotions that are way more valuable than any materialistic nonsense. But that's the game that they play. I don't want to play that game. They'll tell you, yo, congratulations, I like the Lamborghini. But in their heart of hearts, they're like, man, I can't wait for that shit to break down. I can't wait for the warranty to be over. When is your warranty over? 36,000 miles? They can't wait. It shouldn't be like that.
Well, you have to, so don't you have to trace
Right? So if a Rolex bothers them, imagine a Patek Philippe or Audemars Piguet or a Jacob and Co. Just to name a few, I could wear a two-door and hurt their feelings. But who wants to live like that? I don't want to live like that. I'm already competing with the open market internationally. I'm competing with life in the whole world.
You talk to the guys and listen. You
What makes you think I'm going to build my whole life competing with these people? And it doesn't have to be a $1 million Lamborghini. It could be a $6 million Ferrari. They go to work at 7 in the morning, 6:15. I'm revving up 12 cylinders every
it
morning.
was really genuine. It was
Every morning.
Especially
Why?
when he-
What am I gonna get from it? They drive by my house. They're gonna see me waxing my cars, detailing my cars, and I'm creating content just for them to rubberneck and say, "Wow, look what we did to this person, and look what he was able to do."
He literally with his receipt.
I go to the airport. They get on a regular flight. I have 2 private jets there. You know what's their perspective? Yo, he doesn't have enough for the gas. You're right. I don't have enough for the gas. But as soon as I do, I'm on the plane. I'm out of here. It's like they're even happy about that. You know, they go to the airport. They say, "Oh, look, he hasn't watched the planes." Yeah, I haven't watched them. I haven't had a chance. I will when the time is right. When I need to do something important. But reality is, what do when these were the people that God placed on this earth to nurture you, to love you, to care for you, to understand, to support you? Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to agree on everything. You're not going to agree on everything. But it is your job and your responsibility to understand it. And they worship money, which is against my religion. You see the same cycle? It's this battle between good and evil. That's all it is. It's the battle between good and evil. The same hatred they give to the children, they plant those seeds grow, new generations grow, and they grow distant from each other. Then they go through challenges in life trying to build these structures with people that are not, you know, that close as far as, blood relatives. And now they're facing these challenges because they don't understand that they were part of a system unbeknownst to their awareness. But wait a minute, we can't talk about psychology or medicine. I'm a doctor as well as an engineer. That's a taboo. But I'm a lawyer as well. That's a taboo. But I'm a serial entrepreneur. That's a taboo. But I'm an artist. Shh, no. Don't talk about the music. 10,000 songs ago, they wanted me to stop it. Quit. That's very challenging. When you tell somebody not to play baseball and he wins 10,000 fucking World Series, yo, it must be really hard, yo. It must be really hard. I still take out a moment to laugh about it because it's so essential, it's so important. You, you, you know what got my neighbors upset? Like I said, they go to work at 7 in the morning, 6:15, Ferrari's on, Lamborghini's on, the Porsche's on. They're like, why is he doing this? This is torture. To show you the power of God. You remember? You remember? Yo, that's like the Tupac song from Are You Still Down? Remember me. Remember, yo. Remember what you did. Remember what you didn't do. Remember the lack of pity, the lack of empathy, sympathy, everything. Like I said, when Tupac went to jail, he was like, yo, just remember this lack of everything. So when he came out, he was on a rampage. Anybody would. You know what I'm saying? Anybody would. Well, that's 3 designs for today. I'm gonna work on some more stuff in my office. But it just goes to show you, the moment of reflection. How hopefully this can help another person somehow, some way. Maybe not now, but maybe in the future. This is why I chose to do this. And you know what's crazy? Again, force multiplier. I'm gonna create content around it. This is gonna become a documentary, a book, a series. Every way that I can capitalize on. I'm gonna make comic books about this. I'm gonna create courses about this that people could teach and franchise to teach themselves in different markets of the world. So there's always gonna be a constant reminder. You could have been one of the superheroes. You could have been one of the Power Rangers in the saga. You chose to be one of the bad characters in the background. You chose to be one of the evil characters. To each his own. Hey, God gave it to you. St. Peter multiplied. You know what I'm saying? But what's the reality? Come here, look. I want to tell you something. The other day, I was facing such a challenge, and you gave me a hug, and it changed everything. I want to say thank you. Yeah, every time I come, you always show me my love, and it's very important to express my gratitude. So,
You have a good day.
all right, hey, I got another hug today too. Thank you, Mama. So, you get what I'm saying? Little by little, God will give you these moments, right? And you can use that little bit of energy to just keep going. That's it. Just keep going. You know, who knows how much money I'm gonna turn down at 1 o'clock? It could be 200 million, it could be 300 million, it could be 50 million, it could be 20 million, it could be 5 million. You know, I'm still debating exactly what I want right now. But this is just day one. This is the beginning of the journey right here. This is the beginning of the new cycle, the new life, the new chapter, the new everything. I'm very grateful for that moment and that opportunity. You know what I mean? One of those things. I just never thought that it would be like that. I just never thought it would be like that.
Hey, Nikki.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know how you get back, even if it's family.
Yeah.
You don't want to get back to Spain. The airport, you
What
can
the CO?
I asked God to give me the strength.
I mean,
This shit is hard. God built me for this. You know what I'm saying? I am one of God's chosen, so I'm gonna keep praying. That's all I can do. Just keep praying. They don't want to just break my heart. You know what I'm saying? Or my spirit, or my thoughts, or my emotions. They want to break my soul. They want the honey from the honeycomb. Because again, they feel that my failure is their success, or that my success is their failure. When those things don't even go together in the same conversation. You know what I'm saying? They do not go together. Like I said, the neighbor got mad at me because she knew that that's why I was warming up my cars, at that time every morning. She knew that that was the reason why I was driving out of the gates. You know, there's like three gates to get to my state, right? So just the fact that she knew, like, because she's my next door neighbor, so she feels that she has an insight or that she's emotionally incentivized, not knowing what the heck is going on, actually using that against me. You know, putting a complaint with the homeowners association. Yo, the cars are too loud. It's too much music. It's always parties. It's always this. It's always that. It's always something. You know, I started watering the grass, and you know, in my state, I have so much land, right? So I would take a compressor, like a kind of like a pressure washer, and I would. First of all, my walls are like 24 feet. So with the compressor, I would fucking shoot the water stream above my gate and above my surrounding border walls, and then it would fall like a like a rain shower onto the grass. So even the way that I watered the grass was very specific, and even that bothered them. Even that's something that they would complain about. So what did I do? I did it every day. You know that sometimes you know you're only supposed to water during certain times and stuff like that, and I didn't care because after all the hard work and sacrifice, like those were one of the few little things that were just for me.
I don't like the black sauce. I like the black sauce. Like if you put it around the tender and sauce. I think that. I like beef. It's actually a bunch of shit. Cane tastes like food.
Power up. Just prayers and forgiveness.
My dad must be doing something because I've been on campus like 4 times today.
Well, this is part of the reflection. You know, this lives forever in the cloud. You know, it's always going to be there. My great grandkids are going to be able to, you know, see these parts of the story and have the insider know how to administrate these
I've really
things.
seen the rat. Like
You know what I'm
I was with
saying?
Rat one time, and there's a rat in one of the gate. He was yelling at us, and he just kept getting closer and closer to the gate. He came up to the gate. Yeah, that ranch.
So it's not just my heart, it's the mind, it's the body. But really, their goal is the spirit and my soul. That's the new realm. Like that's the new battlefield. You know, sometimes I try to think back, like, yo, what was the first day where the betrayals and the challenges started? What was it? What was it like? What was the catalyst? And you know what it was? It was a business partnership that I had at the time, and the fact that the business was successful and it was growing. Like the business went through a quantum growth in a few years. I believe that was the moment that it was like, oh no, you cannot let this person become successful. Because I had success before, you know, in a different way, different realm, different industries, etc. But I think it was one of those moments like they got close enough just to see not only the success attained based on the challenges overcome, but the potential that it opened up, like so many opportunities, just the shift of the paradigm. Because remember, there was always a narrative. You know, damn is good. No, this person is no good. This, that, and the third. And it's like success after success. I sabotage one thing, I do something else, boom, success. Over and over and over again. And then let me tell you, if I really wanted to be petty, I could look back at situations and say, damn, even in small things, there was always this challenge. Even in small situations, there were always these moments. Again, me trying to numb the pain, right? I overlooked that. Like, you know, it didn't matter if a family member was bad to me for 30 days. If they gave me that one good day, I would have hope and faith that, the following month, they would give me 2 days that were good and just 29 bad days. And then, realize, right? Like a year passes, summer, Christmas, boom, then 2 years, then 5 years, then 10 years. And everything changes. Everything changes. And you're like, wow. So it's like kind of like a compound interest thing, right? You're like, no, this is continuing to happen. Now, if I don't externalize it, it does me harm because it doesn't allow the healing process.
And lately, they give me cookies school. Two or three times every day. They was thank you.
Man, whatever you gonna leave me with.
So this creates the real moment of reflection
Well, that's like really good.
where you have no choice but to face these challenges. No other choice.
When I was like freshman, I set such a high standard with my grades, bro. Like my aunt's like, every time you get a new, like every time a new grade period starts, new grades either have to be the same or they have to be
The
better.
baby's laughing.
They can't be worse.
You see that moment right there? Throughout all the challenges, God will give you these little bits and pieces to like, you know what? It's gonna be all right. So let's do what we do best.
I like it.
Let's get a quick prayer. You guys ready? Let's go. Thank you, Heavenly Father,
I'll sit
for
down
all
with
the blessings in our lives.
Explain it to me.
We thank you, Heavenly Father, for all the blessings in our lives. We worry not about what we don't have, because we're in the process of getting it, and in that journey, everything we do is in your name. Amen. Amen. You have an amazing day today, where you conquer everything in your path. And everything that you touch turn into solid gold bars and silver bars. And beautiful and precious gemstones such as moissanite or laboratory ground diamonds.
Like today,
Always remember to dream big because dreams come true. It happened to me, and I know for a fact it's going to happen to you. We'll move on with the psychology series for today. I'm going to jet out of here and check on my churches and my charities, and I'm going to go meet with my family for a little bit.
Yeah, I
Um, hopefully, maybe take care of a client or two as I'm preparing to take some time for myself.
the remake.
And
I'm so surprised.
I have an hour to decide if I even want to entertain this business meeting.
I don't think I want to get here from.
I have a lot to contemplate, but I'm very grateful and I'm very appreciative for this moment of clarity that God has given me. And maybe indirectly, this is the only way that I can actually pray. And it may be the only opportunity that I have, unless I'm able to be successful. And what can I say? At least I know what not to do.
You have Saturn.
And even if I don't succeed, if I don't accomplish anything, just avoiding from connecting with this evil entity
Hey, you.
that is the collective of my family I will have done good enough with this stack. So I leave you all with that. We'll be back in the office in a little bit. But I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for showing up. See you in a little bit. Dreams come true. So we'll be right back. We're gonna continue. I don't know what today's graphic is gonna be, but you know who you dealing with. You know who you dealing with, right? All right, let's see. Let's see if we could do an upgrade real quick. Come on down. Come on down. Let me see. Is it here? What the hizzle? Mm. Okay. Alright, y'all ready? I know, Lonnie. Don't call it a comeback. Yo, don't worry, I'm gonna make some more today. I've been here before. You know why his eyes is green, right? Because I'm a Green Ranger, baby. Alright. See y'all in a little bit. God bless.